we go. I think we're live. Welcome, everyone. If you're here, please let me know. Let me know that you can hear me and see me all right. All right, perfect. Looks like we got a few people in here. Love and beloved, Melsubi75. Welcome, welcome. A few others. Make sure my chat is working. All right, so good to see you guys. Thank you for subscribing. This is my 12,000 subscriber thank you show. So if you are a subscriber, and only if you are a subscriber, you are going to drop your question. Do include the name of anyone that you're referring to, living or deceased, and I will be giving you a free reading. So every subscriber gets one free reading, one free question answered. All right, so this is essentially my Ask Ivy show, only free. Hello, Ezzy. Man, Ezzy just woke up from her nap to come down and say hi to you guys. So I do want to give a couple quick announcements here. If you are struggling to figure out where the visibility button is, Kim, my beautiful producer, just posted it in the comment section here. Okay, because your visibility has to be turned on or we don't know if you're a subscriber or not. So Kim is only giving me the readings from subscribers. Okay, so turn on your visibility. How do you do that? You could see it right there. Okay, in the comments. Go to youtube.com, you sign in, click your profile, top right, click YouTube Studio, then settings, and where it says whatever else the rest of the instructions are there. I'll let you guys go through that. All right, so real quick, I do want to say so many thanks to my YouTube members. If you are debating on becoming a YouTube member, you can hit the join button to see the 3 different tiers of membership options. My YouTube members get monthly horoscopes, 1 private email reading, which pays for the entire subscription itself, a weekly message, 1 mini class every month, an exclusive Ask Ivy show, and more. So it's a ton of fun. Thank you, Kim Dennison, Denise Bennett, Lucy Marsh, Jayla Hilly, Edgar Velardes, Melissa S., Jennifer Cole, Christine Watts, Miami Heat 305-ish, Angie Johnson, Jill Marie, CJG, Yolanda Fisher, Shauna Dempsey, Demetris, Language Through Connection, Deanna Marie, Maraid D, Chicken Mama, Tristan Marion, Me Love 716, Andrea M, Vanessa, and Stella Marie. I appreciate you guys. I want to make a couple quick announcements while everyone's dropping their questions and tuning in. My Victorian Tea and Gallery show at the hauntingly beautiful Margin Manor Winery. There are only 3 seats left. This is a ticketed event. So we're going to do 1 hour of gallery where I read the audience and you guys go through a 3-course tea, wine tasting, and then afterward, I'm doing private reads. You can go ahead and pre-book your private reads now, up to 3 slots per person. But remember, again, this is a ticketed event. So you would have to have tickets to the actual show. And again, there are only 3 left. So you can go onto my website, Ivy Rivera Psychic Medium.com, on the events page to get your tickets, or you could just go to marginmanor.com. Okay, we also have coming up, welcome Frosty Icy 0944, Vanessa CGH 5350. Welcome everyone. My psychic mediumship course, I'm only running 1 in 2026 and it begins February 3rd. So you're going to want to go ahead and get registered for that now. You can take it here live in person at the Ivy League Psychic Academy. You can also do it online, as most people do, because our classes do run internationally. And when you can't be there, you can get the video download. So it's adult learning, of course. So most people want to do a mix of those options, but spots are filling fast and it is limited seating. So go ahead and get yourself registered now. the raffle for the psychic mediumship course. I wasn't able to offer one in 2025, but you guys kept asking and asking about scholarships and things like this. I also don't have time to deal with scholarships in 2026, but I did bring back the raffle. So somebody can get a free seat to the psychic mediumship course. Raffle tickets are on sale now, again, up on my website. And the drawing is January 14th. So it'll give you a little bit of time before the course actually begins to adjust. Okay, the haunted sleepover experience is here. This house, the Francis Rhodes house, built in 1882, is a Victorian funeral home, was a funeral home for over 55 years, and is on the Haunted History Trail of New York State, the Historical Trail of Chautauqua County. So if you want to come check out this house, you could sleep a haunted sleepover experience up to 25 of your friends. You could do ghost hunts, historical tours, all the things. Okay, so booking for that is also up on my website. My symbology book, I am back on it. I haven't mentioned it in a while because I was in my peak season, my in-season spooky season, and I was burnt the F out. So the book got put on the back burner again. However, my goal is to publish by spring or summer at the absolute latest. So my symbology book, if you want to get on the early bird wait list, you can email me at revivrivera@yahoo. You can see this up on the screen right now, revivrivera@yahoo. And you just say, add me, and put a little bird emoji there, and I'll know exactly what it is. And I'll get you in the early bird wait list. Love symbology. Holiday gift cards are now on sale. Not really gift cards, just gift certificates. So you can get a digital gift certificate. You could print out. You can give to your loved ones, whether you want to get a reading with me, you want a class from the Ivy League Psychic Academy, or if you prefer one of my certified readers through Ivy's Healing Call Center, you can get any of those 3 gift certificates easily online. Everything's up and running. Give a gift they'll actually love. Trust me. Okay. All right. Guinea pig volunteers. I think this is my last announcement. Guinea pig volunteers, I need them. My tarot class is graduating from the Ivy League Psychic Academy. Tiffany Silver just taught that, and they're wrapping it up, but they have this huge graduation psychic fair. It's called Walk-in Night that we have to run. So I am currently looking for guinea pig volunteers. You drop an $11 donation, and then we'll set you up for a reading with them. The tarot students, just like the psychic mediumship students, need a lot of real practice with people that they don't know. Okay, so we bring in guinea pig volunteers so that they can polish their skills. And I will tell you, I worked with, was it two, maybe 3 different readers from this group, and they absolutely blew my mind. Okay, so don't miss out on this opportunity. Please become a volunteer. If you have any more questions about that, just post it in the comments section and I'll get you set up. Okay, I think that's everything. So let's go ahead and get into this today. Okay, again, Kim, we're going to do rapid fire. And everyone, you need to have your visibility on so that Kim, my producer, can make sure that you're actually subscribed. If you're tuning in here and you're like, I want a free reading, hit subscribe. Drop your question. Do include names of anyone you're referring to. So welcome, everyone. I'm Ivy Rivera. I'm a psychic medium, a Taino Airwalk, and this is my thank you for 12,000 subscribers free Ask Ivy show, where you can drop a question of any kind, including connecting with your deceased loved ones or pets, past life, money, health, travel, relationships, anything goes here. Okay. Paranormal, spiritual, whatever it is. And if you are subscribed, you will get a free reading tonight. All right. Thanks so much, guys. Took me a while to get there. From 11 to 12,000 subscribers took me a really long time because I stopped doing a bunch of things. And apparently the algorithm does not appreciate you just dropping it. And so it dropped me. But now that I am back on a routine, things are moving quickly, and I am so grateful to you. All right. So our first subscriber dropping a free question here is Edgar. Edgar 93 says, Does my Uncle Valentine have messages for me? The anniversary of his passing is tomorrow. Thank you for the free reading and congratulations. Thank you, Valentine. You know what he is giving you here is a little bit of a wake-up call on not holding yourself back, okay? He's also grateful that you are keeping the candle lit for him, communicating with him, having this memorial for him, just having loving memories, okay, about him and with him. But this idea of you holding yourself back is a little bit of a wake-up call that the gun has gone off. The race has begun. And it's like, I don't know that you are fully aware of that. Now, it feels like this would have happened in the last 3 to 4 days, ballpark. And you're supposed to be taking more action, verbally and otherwise, though most of it will be communication toward what you want. This includes in relationships. This includes with work. This includes with situations where you want more clarity or you want a better cut or you want to be more on top than what you are. And so he's encouraging you to just sort of do an evaluation. You know, what improvements have you been wanting to see? I don't care how big or small they are. And understand that right now, because things are moving in your favor, the universe is moving things for you. You still have to use your free will. You still have to take the bull by the horns. And if there are any areas where you've been hesitating, you've been like, well, I think I just need to ride this out. You know, I need to be more passive. Now is not the time for that. He's also encouraging you to, I want to say, get out there more with your own like self-expression or, you know, the way that you socialize. It feels like you're holding yourself back a little bit in that area. And I'm not saying that you need to be more performative necessarily, but I do think you may need to be more engaging. Okay. So no holding yourself back right now. He loves you very much. He says you're a happy guy. You've become a real happy guy. And I feel like he was too. I feel like he knew how to enjoy things, whether it was like a cup of coffee and some chocolates, or just sitting on the porch and like listening to birds, or watching nature, like simple joys. Okay, he's pleased that you're doing this. Why, Laurie, aka Yolanda, I know is your name. Okay, Yolanda said, "Congratulations, Ivy. You're Yes, thank you very much, Yolanda. Any messages from Telly?" Okay. Telly for Yolanda. I feel like you're releasing some anxiety, okay? He says that you've been heavy-chested, heavy-hearted. Heavy, not necessarily where it's like, oh, my heart's broken, but it's more like it's suppressed anxiety, but it is still a weightedness that threatens with anxiety. It's almost like you've been just trying to hold it down for everyone. You are trying to get everyone's needs met, and the weight has been put all upon your shoulders. I think that what you're doing now is realizing that you could start pulling back from that energy. You know, we do this when we're in survival mode. In all honesty, that's what it looks like to me. That's just my perception. Take it out, resonates. But we do that when we're in survival mode. When we're in survival mode, it is function, stoic, focus. You know, it is suppress those emotions. There's no time for this. Ain't nobody got time for that. Was that lady on the news? You know what I mean? Talk about the fire and the smoke. I don't have time for this. I have to get out. You know, I have to find a solution so that I can get out. Then later I'll feel, I'll think, I will be, okay? But right now it's due. It's do or die, really. And you may have been in that mode for, I mean, he's talking about anywhere from 2 to 4 years in particular, where it seems like the weight's getting heavier and heavier. But it's like, what he shows now is just you kind of in the last, he keeps saying 2. I want to say probably 2 months. But this could also be like 2 weeks, 2 days. Take it how it resonates. It's been a little while, okay? But 2 sets of 2. You've been releasing more. You've been acknowledging that this heaviness is there, that you're going to have to actively move it off, you know, of your chest or your shoulders or your back. You're going to have to put that monkey down. You're going to have to start reconnecting with yourself more. And he shows it almost like he's trying to bring you like, He's talking about like a foot rub and a cup of tea. Okay. It's like, I'm trying to bring you these things. You have to bring them to yourself, obviously. But it's like, even if it is just having a cup of tea and thinking about your day, or thinking about how you felt throughout the day, or thinking about how throughout the day you did have to suppress certain things. This ability that you're coming into now to become more whole and more in alignment with your higher mind and your soul than you have been in a really long time is a gift. Okay, it is a gift. It is a blessing. Sometimes we hear that and we're like, oh God, who knows what's in there? Who knows what's going to come up or come to the surface? Or, I don't want to do shadow work, or I don't want to do any more healing. It's not really all that, as much as it is just allowing yourself to release the weight and allowing yourself to feel more joy and create more fluidity. All right. I get the sense he may have put some of this heaviness there. Okay. Take it out resonates, but he definitely feels as though he's somewhat responsible to help you move through it. A lot of love to you as well from him, and a red rose, which is a birthday or anniversary right around this time. This can also be a passing anniversary or just a deep love. Take it out resonates. Anna Pekka 2071. If everyone could please give this video a thumbs up, drop a comment of any kind. It really does help me out in the algorithm. And again, if you want to get a free reading tonight, hit that subscribe button and drop your question. So Anna says, do you see me actively starting my intuitive healing business, even if it is a trial run with clients, by the end of this year? By the end of the year. Okay. Do I see you doing it? I see that you could do it. I don't know that you will do it. It seems like you do it and then you drop it by blocking it. Now, what does that mean? Well, that means that you are in a bit of a high risk zone here for kind of putting the fishing line out there. I'm throwing it out there to the public, but I also am so either nervous about it, or I feel so off about it, or I feel like I don't have time for this. And so I am, pushing it away. I'm blocking it by sort of refusing it or not actually wanting it. So it's not enough, especially when you're doing light work, energy work, any type of healing work. You can't just sort of have the website or put your business cards out there, or show up to a vending event. You have to shift the energy so that it is open and clear, and you are claiming to you who is meant to come to you. Otherwise, there are so many blocks associated with this, and especially for you. I mean, not everyone has them, but mostly, yeah. That we, without removing those, could find that nothing happens. And it can give the, misconception, let's say, that it's not wanted, or it's not needed, or it's not going to work. And that's not the case here. So put yourself out there, but also be actively involved in energetically responding to that message you just sent out to the universe, that you are open, ready, and you're going to engage with it and take it seriously. All right, good luck, Anna Pekka. Next up is Frosty Icy 0944. What's next in my life so far? What's next in my life? Okay, so far. I don't know what the so far means exactly, but this is for Alicia. Okay, let me tap in Alicia. What's next in Alicia's life that she should be paying attention to? I heard detoxing, and I feel like I'm itching. Like, if you've ever worked out and hard, okay, and you haven't worked out in a while, your skin will start to it just itch like crazy. And did you guys hear that? I do live in a haunted house. This is the second week in a row where I went live, and there's crazy activity in here. If you guys are into that, you're going to be picking stuff up on your cameras. This whole side, back here, by the chairs, okay? I just heard on the cushion of the chair. And the cat's right here. Let's get back to Alicia. So, Alicia, this idea of itching or detoxing or, allowing yourself to release things that no longer serve you is what's next for you. I'm not necessarily saying that you have to get on a brand new workout routine, but you may be looking at that. You may be looking at something like detoxing with teas or whatever, getting into fasting. Okay, so be it. Probably something, all right? Because when it hits you karmically like this, it's almost like a kundalini. It's going to hit all the chakras, which means it's going to hit all different areas of your life. But what you should be focusing on is the release of whoever or whatever no longer serves you, is stunting out your growth and development. Maybe you've known these situations where people were on the chop block. Maybe you haven't been really wanting to get to it. You're just going to sort of leave them. You're just not going to address them again. It doesn't have to be a big confrontation or a goodbye. It's just, let's not pick that up again or ever respond. Toodles. All right. You are essentially removing from your mind, body, soul, and literal lifestyle things that need to go. Through this detox, you are, like Kundalini, allowing the flow of energy from your crown down, okay, to start coming in and work through you. So we're looking at all types of potential prosperity, progressions, expansions, but this first, okay? Have a good time with it. Doesn't always seem super fun, but I think change is very exciting, and I love detoxing. What's around the bend is going to be amazing. Chicken Mama 5859. Okay, Chicken Mama wants to know. She says, congratulations. Thank you. I'm so grateful to be on this journey with you for all these years. Thank you, Chicken Mama. I'm so happy to have you here. I totally appreciate it. I unexpectedly received a never seen photo of my cousin Jennifer last week. She was 7 when she passed in 1977. Huh. I had been thinking of her the entire week before. What message is she trying to tell me? Thank you. Well, just in the numerology here alone, we see a lot going on with the number 7. So let's start with that, and then I'll have her fill in. Number 7 is about truths being revealed. It's about pieces of the puzzle coming together so that you can finally put it together. It's doors of opportunity opening up. It's masks coming off. It's information that you did not previously get access to. Not to say it didn't exist, but to say you couldn't have access to it for whatever reasons, usually because it's being hidden, okay, in some capacity. So I think that's something important to pay attention to here. You don't see this many numbers line up exactly like this and just say it's a coincidence. You have a higher likelihood of winning the lottery, and we know this, okay, from research. So numerology is a very real thing. That's the other thing to understand with her. She is a numerology person, and you are a numerology person. So we have a pairing in that language. That means birth dates and death dates will match up. Lucky numbers and big opportunities. You'll hear from her always in number patterns, and these are directional. So learn the language of numerology, not angel numbers. That's not a real thing. Okay. But actual numerology most certainly is. When I go over here with her, what she's talking about is, I want to say looking up to you. She looks up to you. She's looking up to you almost like a big sister or an elder or a mentor. It seems like you've accomplished a lot of things. She's really proud of the things that you've accomplished. Like she wants to be associated with you. It's like, receiving the warmth from your glow, from your shine, like you are a star. So just know, all right, she is, when you feel an uplifting energy or a boost to your self-esteem, or as though you're being wrapped in someone's warmth and support, this is how she comes through 100%. You'll feel it physically, mentally, emotionally. And she's talking about this being a period of time for you to bring some closure. I feel like some closure to her passing and some of the hurt, some of the things that went on in the family as well, or the things that were said after her passing that have maybe left you with some open-ended, it's like, storylines, or you've got a lot of questions. You want to finish that book. I also think it's affected your life in some very interesting ways, and we're not going to be able to get into all of that. This is for you to unravel, but you may be writing about it quite a lot. How did her passing affect you? How did the reactions of everyone in the family or the community, how did all of that affect you? It's like you're wrapping up this karmic chapter. This has been a long chapter. Okay, but we are wrapping it up. And it starts with that photograph. She loves you very much. We are going to move on to Miami Heat 305-ish. Congratulations, Ivy. Thank you, Miami Heat. I would like a general reading, anything that comes up. Thanks. Okay, general reading for Miami Heat. Ooh. This is not a time to hold yourself back. This is the second message already, and I've only read 6 people, 8 people. Something's going on with the collective right now. This is not a time to hold yourself back. You may feel as though you're being, whether it's stigmatized or someone's trying to oppress your voice, you're being shoved down. This could also be that, yes, people have done that to you, but now you're doing it to yourself, and you have to own that. Hold yourself accountable, take responsibility, and push through it. Get past it. There's going to be a lot of, how do I want to say this? Maybe you saying, I'm too tired to deal with this right now, or I don't want to think about that right now. I don't have time to process this right now. This can come from almost a sense of exhaustion, or having to face the fact that you are a little bit rattled or coming from a place of low self-esteem or triggered, can make it so that you're making a mountain out of a molehill. You actually need to be moving forward, especially where your speech, your communication is concerned, your visibility. So I'm hearing, can they see her? Can they hear her? Can they see her? Can they hear her? Which can mean that you're kind of hiding away. Okay. And I'm going to leave it at that. Any areas of your life where you have been hiding away, or you've been saying, I'll do that later. Okay, that's for another season in my life, but not right now. I can't deal with this right now, or I don't want to deal with this right now. This is not the time for that. So it is time to move forward, because the universe is supporting it. Your higher mind is supporting it. Therefore, spirit is supporting it, and great things can happen. No holding back right now. All right, we are going to move on to Melsubi 75, general reading. General reading for Melsubi 75. You seem to be wanting to dance more, have more fun, but you may feel like you're around people who are drags, and you may be like, nobody wants to dance with me. That's okay. You don't need that. Okay. You can dance alone. You can dance with spirit. You can dance with your cat, or a glass of wine or 2. Okay. There are a million ways to do this. Whatever you do as you go forward, especially for the next 5 to ballpark 7 months, you want to have a good time, have a good time. Having a good time is a state of mind, okay? Joy, happiness is an inside job. Forget out here, it'll never happen, okay? It's an inside job. So you have this vibrant energy, this bubbling, hearing effervescence, you just sort of want to dance, you want to spin, you want to be in a state of it's almost like ecstasy and peace and joy all wrapped in together. And you just kind of want to, I don't think your focus is on giving it out, but hey, what happens in that state is that you overflow. So you naturally are giving it out, but it's more like, how can I maximize this? How can I really revel in this? How can I bask in this energy and fully enjoy? And I think that knowing and being realistic that people around you may be downers or not into it, or even combating it, which is a natural response from a lot of people who maybe, are looking to drain your energy, obviously, but aren't used to seeing you like that. It could be like a trigger reaction. It's something you should be mindful of, okay? And even if it means taking more personal space, getting away from everyone, go ahead and do that. But I also think you're tapping into your inner child. in a lot of this, because before we can go there, we have to go backward. And I don't know what the story is with the zoo, and we don't have time to get into it here today, but there is something about you going to the zoo, or you going with a zoo pass, or you trying to get into, the wonder of the zoo. Zoos are horrible. We know nobody wants to see animals in cages, but let's call it a rehabilitation center. Okay. Let's say you go into this rehabilitation center and you're looking at these animals and you feel like you've got animal communication and telepathy, and you're really at home. You are in full alignment with your inner child when you're in that type of an atmosphere. And it makes you feel so connected, to the universe and life, that it's just pure happiness that you could feed off of for a really long time, like beyond, closing hours at 6 p.m. when they all have to go to bed. Okay. It's bigger than that. For whatever reasons, and maybe this was something from your childhood, quite literally, that you wanted more of, but I feel you tapping into more of that inner child as you go forward with this joy. This is a beautiful thing. Enjoy. Vanessa, 3045. Vanessa, any messages from my dad, Alan? Alan, for Vanessa, you seem to be driving and looking really hard. It's like you're looking... I can't prescribe or diagnose, but he may be calling you out on your vision. And if you haven't recently gotten it checked, do so. Maybe you just did. Okay. And that's because it's all right around this time. But it looks like thicker glasses I'm seeing on the, my cousin Vinny, when, he asks the old lady who's up on the stand, he's like, when was the last time you had your eyes checked? And she's like, no, I've been wearing glasses since I was 6. She's like, I think they're okay. I don't need to be checked. But she could only see half as far as she thought she could. Okay. So there is this image of you in a vehicle, your dad watching over you, like being in the vehicle with you, and you like squinting real hard, like looking real serious at where the side of the road is, the edge of the road. Are there animals busting out of the bushes? Like what? It's too much effort, in my opinion. I wonder why. Okay. Such an extreme concentration. And I think that the other message here can also be that you are feeling a little bit like taken off guard, or you feel foreboding, terrible foreboding coming, or like the other shoe's going to drop, or something's about to sneak up on me. I can feel it psychically. There may be some changes coming. I don't think it's anything you can't handle. I think that it's all fine, and you shouldn't stress and overthink and worry and be too controlling about all of that. You will see what you need to see, and he will always let you know ahead of time what's about to cross your path. So keep talking with him. But again, we're not going to dismiss that original message, especially, I don't know where you live, but here where it snows and you're driving through blizzards, your eyes have got to be in tip-top shape. Okay. I cannot prescribe or diagnose, but also that he loves you very much. Also giving a red rose, which is a birthday or anniversary right around this time. This can also be a passing anniversary or just a deep love. Take it out, resonates. And if you have any areas where you need healing, he's also giving you a white rose. It can also mean that you don't feel you had proper closure with him. Okay. So he'll be talking a bit more about that probably for the next 3 days. Ton of love to you. GH5350. Thank you everyone for tuning in. If you could please give this video a thumbs up, drop a comment of any kind. This is my thank you for 12,000 subscribers, free Ask Ivy show. So if you hit that subscribe button, you could drop a question and get it answered for free tonight. For those of you who want to book a reading or a party with me, you can go to Ivy Rivera Psychic Medium.com. I do work internationally. So CGH says, can you tell me what messages Spirit has for me today? Okay. Any messages, just general messages. I feel don't worry about something. It seems like something may have just come in that was like flustered you. I see your face getting red. And so if something's coming in, causing a flustering of your energy, a sense of, I don't know exactly how to react to this, or I don't know exactly how I'm going to react to this, or I want to react to this properly. I don't want to just like be reactionary. I want to be thoughtful in my deliberate response to whatever this is, because it sets a tone. It's almost feeling like a bit of a grand finale, or it's feeling like a pivotal point. Now when we talk about a pivotal point, we're talking about, in dealing with this other person or the situation, it is an opportunity for two people to either come closer together or to go further apart. But when it's a pivotal point, as it is most certainly in this case for you, within yourself, it's an opportunity for you to grow or to stagnate. Okay. So are we going to sort of evolve beyond old reactionary habits that we had? And this is where we prove true growth, is not in reading the books or getting the certifications or laying on the therapist's couch. It's in the moment when you are feeling a bit flustered, or you could potentially be triggered, or this is a hot spot. Here it is. This is the moment of truth, and we rise above it. We choose the path that we have never chosen before. We hold steady. We walk it out, right? You hold the line. So I feel like what you're entering into, and again, this would have just started like maybe even today, yesterday, but this is what you can expect for the next few weeks. You're going to be presented with those opportunities. And I think ultimately, this is something really to celebrate, because you seem a little bummed out. You seem aware that it's happening, but you're also like, meh, whatever, and that's what we want. We don't want to be emotional. Right? We don't want to be working from our feelings or excessive logic, overthinking it, or anxiety and worry. We want to be like, yeah, here it is again. This time I'm passing. That's all, crack open the champagne. All right. Good luck with that. Thank you for your support. Nature calls you 4645. Okay. Nature calls you 4645 asks, how can I better use or assimilate the effect I get when I am feeling high vibrational spirit energy? It is a beautiful divine feeling I absolutely love, but can literally overwhelm me to tears. So here are a couple tricks I teach my students in the psychic mediumship course. Number one, we only feed high vibrational spirits, which is the trick to maintaining that long term without having to constantly block and cleanse and worry about lower negative spirits getting in. So we only entertain, meaning you only interact with and take messages or healing from spirits that have crossed over into the light. So what you feed, you get more of. Now, when you have decided that you are willing to work with them, and your boundaries are set clearly as to when you'll work with them, in what fashion you'll work with them, how much you'll work with them. Once those boundaries are set, we can start getting past those triggering physical reactions like the drainage from the eyes, the emotional outbursts, the crying, the clear sentience you're feeling in your body, what they went through, the clear empathy where you're feeling emotionally everything, from the entire experience, but especially the spirit itself. You have to build up a resistance through practicing. And when you take a break, which is why with my students, it's a 28-week course, and we are constantly, from class one, read. You have to build up your stamina. You have to build up your resistance to being overwhelmed by mediumship. And it's like doing anything else a million times. Think of it like the first time you went down the slide at the playground, the big slide, and it was just you. You weren't taking a parent with you. You were going to go down this thing. And you don't know how it's going to go, but it's like you wanted it. And then you're at the top. You're like, oh my God, now I'm terrified. It's overwhelming. But once you've done it like 8-10 times, you're ready for a bigger slide. So I think you need to be more consistent in how often you're really working with these spirits, meaning how often you're willing to fully channel their messages or that healing energy out to other people. And naturally, in time, you will be able to build a resistance to the physical, emotional, and mental reactions. It just becomes like, I'm at work, it's clockwork. Every now and again, it'll sneak up on you, and there is no avoiding that. And that is nothing to be ashamed of. I swear to God, the only time I lose my shit, it's always got to be a situation like this. It's ridiculous. I've been doing this now since I was a kid, really for other people, since I was like 15, and then for the public for like pushing 20 years now. I swear to you, it is not until I am dressed up, I have makeup on, I'm on stage, and I am working in a situation where I really want to be as professional as possible that I lose my shit. Some spirits got to come through, some kids, some situation that just, I can't hold it together. And I don't even like thinking about it right now because I could feel pulled into that energy, almost like a vortex, like a hole, like I'm sucked in. I try never to think about what I'm doing. I completely shut off from my ego and emotional state. But when I think about it, it's like I'm in it. And once you're in it, it can be very, very hard to pull back out. So you're up there and you got tissues and balling up and you're a mess and your makeup's running and it's humiliating. And usually with that comes profusive sweating and an anxiety attack and your ears are ringing and you're just like a freaking mess. And 5-10 minutes later, you're still trying to kind of knock it sucked back in, so stay out of it. It's the easiest thing that you can do. And that takes a lot of practice. I hope that was helpful. Probably not. Sorry. Take class, okay? It's maybe easier when I have 28 weeks to explain this. It's that's a tough one, all right? I hope that helps. Tanya Rivera, another Rivera. Hi, Tanya. Hi, Ivy. I'm struggling with my life coaching niche for my business, Sage Brush Healing and Wellness. I'm undecided between spiritual life coach and blended family life coach. Which direction should I go? I'm feeling more family life coach, but I'm actually feeling both. I think the issue here is timing. I think that one of the things you may need to look at is having a flexibility in working with certain groups of people, offering certain types of services, but only for a period of time. Like the life coaching may have been going really, really well for like 6 months, and then it died down. This is an ability with any business ownership, entrepreneurship, to zig and zag, to be flexible, to be fluid, essentially. And that requires that what was a priority is now put on the back burner. Now this is a priority, right? It's stacking, constantly moving. It's exhausting, but you have to learn at some point how to do it regardless. I mean, it's really more of a life skill. Learning how to do it in your situation will apply to everything else is what I mean by that. Okay. But right now you're not really called in one direction or another. You're called in both, but at different time frames. And right now, and what we're entering into is the family stuff, but it will go back to the individual eventually. I keep hearing 8 months. Or 8, which could also be August. You'll take it out, resonates. But I do think that you don't want to hyper focus in just one area, or you're going to keep hitting the same obstacles. Okay. Anyone else here who runs a business or is an entrepreneur, you ever notice those ebbs and flows in your business and you're like, well, I thought I was doing what I was supposed to. Why is it dry? And then 8 months later, it's busting out and something else is doing, you know what I mean, needs to be put on the back burner. It's just constant. A call to both. All right. Thank you, Tanya. Love and Beloved, 5497. Love and Beloved says, congratulations. Thank you. Thank you. Any ideas for energy protection at work related to a coworker who sends active energy attacks to me? She talked of being able to steal someone's soul, dark energy in her. Okay. Dark energy in her. Okay. So I think that, first of all, no one who's good at it brags about it. Just like being good at sex, okay? No. If they're bragging, they're horrible. If she's this ballsy, so she thinks, to come out and try to threaten people, she has wounded inner child issues. She needs therapy. She is clearly threatened, which I would take as a compliment, but she's probably not as focused on you as you may think in this situation. I see her actually focused on a bunch of other people. So the way she talks is to put other people in submission who overhear it so that she doesn't feel as threatened by them. She is hoping in a preventative manner to stop everyone from essentially bullying her. Okay, stealing from her, whatever it is. And it's sad. I'm seeing Britney Spears, who I don't really follow or know anything about. I did catch her last video and it kind of rattled me a little bit. If you're not familiar with the Britney Spears journey, I don't know. I can't really speak a lot on it, but I know that she's gone through some hardship and she was victimized. That's evident, okay, watching her now. But they're comparing this coworker to the Britney Spears journey. And this is not a time for you to be like, oh, I am going to come and rescue her or be a friend or allow my guard to be down or try to understand it. Sometimes we have a lot of education in psychology. We can give people passes or hold space, and we shouldn't. Okay. So I think it's really important to be careful. You can also use blocking exercises. Okay. So you can, and I have videos on my YouTube here in my mini classes on like blocking, psychic attacks. You're going to want to watch all of those. Okay. But quick rundown, you can use blocking techniques, visualizing her where she can't get in. You can also put mirrors. I like to do the eggshell with someone I don't like. I don't like the way they act. So I'll pretend I have mirrors all on the outside of me. And next time they approach me, they're so offended by my energy because it's their own energy reflecting back onto them. They usually drop off for like 3 weeks or so. It's pretty hilarious. You can also do a binding if it gets to that point. Again, I talk about this in the free mini classes. But I would sit down and do meditation where you call in her higher mind and her inner child. So you just sit and you visualize her coming toward you and you say, my higher mind wants to speak to your higher mind. My inner child wants to play with your inner child. And then you can really communicate with that more evolved part of her and make some boundaries very clear during that time. This isn't working. I'll be taking action. If you can't get this in check, whatever it is. Okay. And normally after something like that, she may actually gravitate toward you with some real, hiney kissing and whatnot. But you just need to maintain it and not feed all of her words. Anything you feed with fear is giving her exactly what she wants, which is energy. Okay. She's not doing as much work as you think she is. And what she does try to do, it's not very good. She sucks at this. I mean, this is not worth your time, honestly. All right. Thank you and be safe. What we think and fear is far more powerful than what anyone else will do. Josie C6772, Josie C says, hi, Ivy. Thank you for doing this show. Thank you for subscribing. Does the man I have feelings for, Greg, have any feelings for me as well? Okay, let's take a look at Greg. Thank you, McKenna1998, for becoming a new member. Welcome. Does Greg have feelings for Josie? I think he does. I don't think it's the same way. You seem to have some actual excitement. You seem to have a little bit of like, oh, I'm a little flushed, little, butterflies, fascination, wanting to kind of dive deep. I feel like you look at him and it's like, I don't know, maybe he has some Pisces in there somewhere, water significant placements, but it's like I want to dive into this pond of Greg, the pond that is Greg. I want to dive in. I want to see what's in there. I want to be in that warm water. I want to, feel it out and like fully experience him. He, on the other hand, and it's not just you, the way he looks at people, the way he looks at humans is like whatever. It's very whatever. There's a lack of passion, I wouldn't say there's a lack of depth necessarily, because he is a pretty good listener and conversation with him can go really well. There can be intimate exchanges and there can be deeper levels of intimacy with him in regards to like sharing of ideas or emotional exchange where you're vulnerable. Like all of that is possible, but he's more about thinking and problem solving and like doing, and is quite detached. I do wonder, and I can't prescribe a diagnose, if he's a bit neurospicy as well, which can create an almost introverted type of reaction to these types of situations where he doesn't like a lot of people in his pond. Okay, I don't want you in the pond. You can put your foot in the pond. You can watch the pond. You can swing on a rope over the pond. You can enjoy the frogs from the pond. You can feed the turtles at my pond, but don't get in my pond, because it's almost like I'm immediately overwhelmed and I don't know how long you'll be in there. I don't know if I can get you back out. And like, I don't like to share my space. So if this is how he feels, and again, it's not just about you, it's about everybody. If this is how he feels, your best approach to having a potential relationship build here is going to be to fully know that and respect that and not be offended by that. Okay, so that's the best advice I can give on this right now. Once we get past that, we'll see what else is there. Okay, but as of right now, he's very hesitant because it's like, I don't want to get in something because I don't know if I can get out of something, or I don't want to bring somebody in if I can't really, give them a great experience here. He's limited. He's limited a bit. I honestly don't see it as a big problem. I just think we have to learn each other a little bit more. This is cute. There's potential here. He's also not your child. You're not here to therapize him or mother instruct or, you know what I mean? So like, he's going to have to figure it out on his own. That's where my confidence level starts to drop a bit. Okay. You figure out your part, work it from the right angle. Okay. And make very clear you like to stay on land. Okay. And we'll see what he does with that. But once you drop that hint and it's obvious, we'll see if he takes action. All right, we're going to move on to Stella Marie. Yes, Esmeralda Marie, what is it? Give her a little catnip. She has been very patient. I know. She caught a mouse. I get up in the dark and nearly stepped in its corpse with blood all over the floor and guts and everything. It was just horrible. I mean, she waited. She was in the kitchen staring at these cabinets for like 2 weeks. I could not break her focus. She is such a good hunter. And then she saw her opportunity and she went for it. Poor thing. Let's move on to, all right, Stella Marie. Ooh, I need it back because I never got to read it, Kim. Thank you. Stella Marie's question. Oh, Kim's got to go fetch it again. Tanya said, thank you so much. Congratulations on 12,000. Thank you. All right. Josie said, thank you, Ivy. You're very welcome. Kim, I need you to bring back Stella Marie. Oh, Stella Marie is just a new member. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I saw that. Thank you, new member Stella Marie. All right, welcome. And who do we have next? Kim Dennison 4340. Kim says, hi, Ivy. Congrats. Thank you, Kim. Can I get a pet reading from Chico, my black dog, or Sandy, my light brown dog, whichever might come through. Okay, well, I do have them both here. And I want to say Sandy was around you last night and so is still lingering and likes to be in the car. I don't know if this is like an SUV, if you have more like a bigger car. But I feel like riding shotgun. I feel like being a little more wild energy, a little more excited. Okay, so we've got Sandy, the light brown, and let me go over here with Chico. You know, Chico is a really old soul. I don't have to tell you, but when he comes in here, he's just kind of a little slow, little old soul. He's very watchful, very protective, especially over your heart. I don't know if you had to put him down, but there seems to be a lot of, I don't know if I want to use the word regret, but it feels heavy surrounding, you know, the end of his life. He wants you to uplift with that, let that go, know that he's in a good place. I do feel like visiting you in 3 particular spots in the house. So it's like, I jump up on your bed at night. You seem to be on the left. If I'm in the bed, I feel like I'm on the left a bit, but it's like he's trying to jam in where he really does not fit, up by your pillows and your head. And jumping up, you may literally feel the bed rock. And then he ends up down by your feet on the right leg, right foot. Okay, so polar opposite side, opposite end of the bed. I see you have something of his. I'm assuming these are ashes, but I'm not sure what exactly I'm looking at. He says you have some of his things, and it feels like I originally thought I was in a bedroom on a dresser or a tabletop. Now I think I'm in the living room, slightly to the lower and right. So wherever you may have a couple different memorial areas for them. Okay, split it up how it resonates. But I feel like you have their things, so whether these be ashes or, you know, collars, things of theirs. You can talk to them. Just know that through their, you know, possessions. It's called psychometry. You put it in your left hand, your left palm, your receiving side, and then you put your right hand on top of it and close your eyes. It's literally like calling them up on the phone. But he has been coming through very protective of your heart. If you've been feeling a little bit stressed or rushed or like there's too much on your plate, like you want some time off. And you may be saying like, I need a vacation, but a vacation can't really fix this type of thing, you know, because it could be like a day-to-day lifestyle type of issue where there's too much, you know, happening. So it would be better, instead of being like, how do I get away for a couple weeks, to be like, how can I revamp my schedule, you know, or the amount of effort I'm exerting? Where can I make cuts? Okay. And decrease so that I can increase my energy. He just wants you to know how much he loves you, and he's giving love out, I feel like, to the males as well. And then Sandy here, I feel like Chico sends you songs, music, memes, funny things, affirmations even. Okay, so not everything that crosses your feed was the algorithm and Google and Zuckerberg. You know, some of it's Chico, just pretty impressive. And then you've got Sandy just acting nutty, running through the house. I want to say both of them mentioning 3 different places in the house. The bed. Okay. So we would say the bedroom door, hearing scratching or hearing doors opening and closing that aren't really moving. I feel like at the bathroom door and in the bathroom. And then I feel like in the kitchen. Okay. Watch for them there, whether it's cabinets opening and closing, hearing their nails on the floor, hearing them eating and drinking, a lot of activity there. A lot of love. All right. Thank you, Kim. We are going to move on to Ayana F. IT6QN. Okay. Ayana F. What is coming up for me within the next few months with my business? Okay. And I don't have the name of the business, but I should be able to tap in okay with this. The next few months with the business, it feels like a little bit of nose to the grind time. So I want to say the upcoming month may be like kind of predictable. It's sort of like I'm chugging along. Everything's pretty much the same. You know, I don't see any massive fluctuations here one way or another. And then the month after that, it's like nose to the grind time. I feel you pumping it out. I feel you really being focused. This may be a rebranding. There's something about marketing, advertising happening with this and the way you're seen and heard. So you may be displeased with the way you're being seen and heard. It could be the amount or who or what. You know, if you ever look at your demographics and you look at your, algorithms and you look at who's tuning in when, like your peak times and who, where it's coming from. That can give you a lot of valuable insight at this time if you haven't already been doing that on a regular basis, because it seems like you may be wanting to reach a different group. You are possibly adjusting also in the third month how much you're putting out. And so that could be, for example, say you do, this is just an example, say you do live shows and you're like, oh, I was ready to pump out like 4 live shows per week. I was all about that. And then in the third month, you're like, not as gung-ho, not because you're burnt out necessarily, but because you're being more reasonable about what you can sustain long term and what is actually required in order for you to level up. So we want to, get the most by doing the least. It really is, in your case, a work smarter, not harder scenario as we enter into the third month. All right. Thank you, Ayana, for your support. We have another one here from XX Shelby Bear. XX Shelby Bear says, I would love to hear if I have any messages from my grandmother, a general reading for the future. Okay. So we're going to go over here with Shelby Bear's grandma. For the future, your question is like, what does she have to say about the future? I do see her actually automatically leaning in. She knows what your question was going to be. First of all, a lot of love to you. Okay. Also, if you just had like a birthday or a celebration right around this time, I feel like something to celebrate. Okay. She's celebrating you. And I want to say, you just even in the last few days, 3 days, 3 weeks. Then she's talking about right over here to the future, which is just barely to the future. I mean, this is in the upcoming month. Okay. Definitely by, I would say 4 weeks out from now, hitting right smack dab in the heart of that. You have some flowers blooming here. And I don't think it's luck. She planted these. You planted these. You watered these. You made sure there was enough sunlight. You wrapped them so that they wouldn't get torn up by the elements. Right? You protected them from the environment and now they are fully blooming. There's some stuff in your life that may have taken a while. You may have even forgotten or been like, I don't know if this is ever going to even happen, but here it is. And I feel like it's feeding your spiritual side. So anything new you're doing with spiritual development, I think it's opening up your third eye. So your clairvoyance, your psychic ability, certainly your discernment, channeling ability, okay, your crown chakra, so channeling more, spirit energy, healing. This could even be you getting pulled into like energy work, psychic mediumship, Reiki, psychic surgery, okay, anything like that. But it is ultimately about you being able to celebrate the fruition from your labor, previous situations where you may have cut people off when you didn't really want to emotionally. You set healthy boundaries for yourself. You did the hard work, especially laying down any type of like research or training, certifications, education, sticking with the job and pushing forward. It's like you've got these payouts coming out in a whole bunch of different areas. And it's just really a time for you to enjoy the harvest of what you've done. She's talking about how beautiful you are. She loves you very much. Okay. And cheers. She's also showing up in a dream. So watch for her. I would say tonight, probably, if it wasn't last night. McKenna, 1998 says, okay, Mackenzie. Gotcha. Mackenzie. Hope all is well. Congrats on the 12,000. Thank you. What are Chandi's feelings toward me currently? We've had a lot of big conversations about working on us. We are. He said he's super busy and scared of his feelings. Okay. So, he just doesn't feel ready. I feel like you would be willing for a while. And I hope you don't for the next 3 years, but up to 3 years before you are done. But I feel like you have enough stamina and interest in this person and the idea of a relationship, which is really the root issue here. You have some ideas of what you want or have to have in a relationship, and you're trying to force things. Okay. So we really should be looking there, not here, but it's your reading. So I'll give you an answer here. He's not ready. I forgot what I was even saying. I don't know what else to say. Look, I'm just going to give it to you straight. He's not ready. Period. Point blank. He's even telling you he's not ready. And if you want to mother over this thing and you want to therapize it, and you want to, parent over and sort of helicopter over it, you want to lead and guide all the healing conversations. If you want to create all the structures of what needs to be done, if you want to come up with the checklist, if you want to follow up and see if he's been doing his homework, you want to, give this time to see if he actually follows through on the agreements that you led him into. He didn't come up with them himself. You led him in. You said, this is what needs to change, and this is how we change it, and this is what you need to do. Okay, I'm giving you a list of instructions, and now I'm going to watch and see if you do it. That's not like realistic in any way, and it's not sustainable. If you were to drop it now, which is what I'm going to recommend you do. You've had the conversation, many, okay? Conversations, you've done some overreaching. He's done some talking. Okay. And now we want to see what the action is actually going to be. Let go. And let's see how it plays out. If you catch yourself overreaching immediately, okay, stop yourself and say, I'm trying to control this because I don't want to see what is really here. Okay. The fact, though, that he is reading is being totally unready for this and not interested in pushing himself to get ready for this. Not that there's any way to actually pull that off. Okay. But the fact that he has also told you, right, is what you want to listen to, because we are hoping, meaning you are hoping too much for a potential outcome. And that word is all potential. You're hoping and you're riding on potential when you actually have proof concretely of what's here. Okay, so you want to make sure you're choosing reality and proof and patterns over potential. Okay. I wish I had better news on that, but there's, there can be a lot of attraction between two people. It doesn't, make anyone ready. When people show up in a relationship, and this is just for everyone, people either show up ready or they're not, period, point blank. That's all there is. They're either ready or they're not. And if they're not ready, then they didn't do the self-development, the shadow work. They didn't go to therapy. They didn't learn from their previous relationships. They didn't do the work. When two people show up, because there's no such thing as wrong timing. Two people show up when it's meant to happen. But if you have one who didn't do the work, they're not ready. And that's the storyline. Okay. So we have to be careful with that. Okay, McKenna, 1998. I think that's the one I just answered, right? Are we at time? Okay, we are at time. You guys, thank you so much. Again, can you pop up church real quick for this Sunday, Kim, so I can get everyone saving that date and time. I will see you guys back here. Oh, it's spelled wrong here. When everyone wants to give up on life, how to navigate. So I will see you guys Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern, for our Roots Revival Interfaith Church service. And that will be the topic: when everyone wants to give up on life, how to navigate. What we're talking about this Sunday is the collective heaviness that is growing internationally from a state of despair or poverty or threats, and how we can, if we are in a state of despair ourselves, navigate those waters, but also how we can better assist other people who are in what is now becoming a very dangerous state of despair, as we see suicide rates skyrocket and whatnot. So it's not only how can you assist them, but it's also, quite frankly, how you could block that energy out so it's not taking you down. Because a lot of people currently who aren't in a state of despair are so overwhelmed from the collective low vibrations that they are developing all types of anxiety and depression and sleeplessness and health problems. Okay, so we're going to work through all of that, and I'm going to give you some really helpful tools regardless of what side you're on. Again, if you guys need to book a reading with me, a party, or a psychic fair, you can go to Ivy Rivera Psychic Medium.com. And thank you again so much for 12,000 subscribers. I'll see you soon.